I think Aaron Rodgers is the best football player who ever lived.
I've never seen anyone throw the football like Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers in trouble. It's going to get there. He turned 32 yesterday. Does he have a vintage moment in him? In the end zone, it is caught for the win!
Aaron Rodgers is one of the best quarterbacks to ever play the game. Widely regarded as the king of the Hail Mary, the way that Rodgers throws the deep ball is second to none. We've seen athletic phenoms at quarterback that haven't panned out before, like Cam Newton and JaMarcus Russell. So what exactly makes Aaron Rodgers different? Growing up, Rodgers was a lifetime 49ers fan. As a California native, it seemed that the 49ers were almost destined to pick him with the first overall pick in the 2005 draft.
2005 NFL Draft, the San Francisco 49ers select Alex Smith, quarterback, Utah.
Instead, they opted for the quarterback from Utah, Alex Smith. As the draft went on, the cameras captured Rodgers looking more and more disappointed until he was finally selected with the 24th pick in the draft.
With the 24th selection in the 2005 NFL Draft, the Green Bay Packers select Aaron Rodgers, quarterback from California.
But the Packers already had a franchise cornerstone in Brett Favre. Favre was coming off a 10-6 season and was a 3-time MVP. So sitting behind one of the most beloved players in the Packers' history meant that Rodgers would have to bide his time on the bench and learn all he could from Favre before he could play. His chance would come in the 2008 season after 3 seasons on the bench. While Rodgers showed great potential, unfortunately his team didn't. Rodgers threw for over 4,000 yards and 28 touchdowns with just 13 interceptions in his first season. But his team struggled, going 6-10 and missing the playoffs. In his first season, Rodgers also struggled in the close games. He didn't win a single one despite having 7 opportunities to do so. Then came the 2009 season. After opening 4-4, Rodgers led the Packers to a 7-1 record in the last 8 weeks of the regular season. This was enough for Rodgers' first playoff game as a Packer. Rodgers also managed to be the first NFL quarterback to throw for over 4,000 yards in each of his first 2 seasons. He finished with 4,434 yards, 30 touchdowns, and a passer rating of 103.2. In his first playoff game, the nerves looked to be an issue for Rodgers. During the first drive, he rolled out of the pocket only to fire a throw straight into the hands of Dominic Rodgers-Cromartie. After that, the Cardinals immediately capitalized on the pick. They would build up a 17-0 lead, but after that, Rodgers took over. The two teams would trade blows when Rodgers found himself in a familiar position, clutch time. Last year, he would have crumbled under the pressure, but this time, something was different. Rodgers carried himself with a swagger that's only seen in greats, as he effortlessly shredded the Cardinals' defense. With 2 minutes left in the game, Rodgers found Havner for an 11-yard touchdown, which forced overtime. The Packers had finally caught a break when they won the coin toss in overtime, which set up the potential game-winning drive. It was 3rd and 6 on their own 24-yard line when Rodgers dropped back into the pocket, scanning for his patented deep throw, when he fumbled. The ball bounced right into Dansby's hands as he pranced into the end zone, officially ending the Packers' season. While his second-ranked defense wilted away in the spotlight, Rodgers completely claimed it. Even though he lost the shootout, he threw for 423 yards and had 5 total touchdowns, the most of any player in their first playoff game ever. During the 2010 season, the Packers found themselves in a familiar position. They were a measly 10-6 during the regular season and had barely snuck into the wildcard round. The Packers squeaked by the Eagles for Rodgers' first playoff victory 21-16, with Rodgers passing for 180 yards and 3 touchdowns. In the divisional round, Rodgers found himself matched up with the number 1 seed in the NFC, the Atlanta Falcons. A-Rod delivered a stunning performance. He threw for 366 yards and 3 touchdowns as he led the Packers to a 48-21 upset win. There was not a single shred of doubt that Rodgers had established himself on the main stage of the NFL, but the NFC Championship game brought a familiar foe, the Chicago Bears. It was a scrappy game for both sides as there was a total of 5 interceptions thrown by both teams. But a rushing touchdown by Rodgers and a clutch pick six by B.J. Raji meant that the Packers bested their foe and made it to the Super Bowl for the first time in Aaron Rodgers' career. Like their other games in their Super Bowl run, Rodgers didn't disappoint. He threw for 304 yards and 3 touchdowns while earning Super Bowl MVP honors during their 31-25 win over the Steelers. This playoff run cemented Rodgers' legacy as he became the 3rd player in NFL history to pass for over 1,000 yards in a single postseason, while also being one of only 4 players to pass for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns, and no interceptions in a Super Bowl. From 2010 to 2021, Rodgers established himself as a perennial MVP candidate. His 2011 season was one of the most statistically dominant in NFL history. 4,643 yards, 45 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, and a record-setting 122.5 passer rating. He won the league MVP that year and would do it again in 2014, 2020, and 2021. Rodgers' ability to avoid turnovers while also making high-risk throws became a hallmark of his playstyle. He was the master of the back shoulder fade, a savant at drawing defenders off sides with his hard counts, and also a wizard at extending plays with his legs while keeping his eyes downfield. His deep connection with receivers like Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, and Devontae Adams produced countless highlight reel moments. But as spectacular as his regular seasons often were, Rodgers' playoff record became a source of criticism. Despite making the playoffs in 11 of his first 13 seasons as a starter, he only appeared in 1 Super Bowl. The Packers suffered multiple gut-wrenching playoff losses: the 2014 NFC Championship collapse against Seattle, the 2020 home loss to Tom Brady's Buccaneers, and that only scratches the surface of his mishaps during the playoffs. These defeats often had complex causes, such as defensive lapses, coaching decisions, or even injuries, but they became a blemish on an otherwise legendary resume. Few quarterbacks have ever combined intelligence, athleticism, and efficiency like Rodgers, but by the end of his time in Green Bay, he had accumulated over 59,000 passing yards, 475 touchdowns, and held one of the best touchdown to interception ratios in NFL history. His consistency was remarkable. From 2008 to 2022, Rodgers threw double-digit interceptions only twice. He routinely finished with a passer rating above 100, and his ability to command the offense at the line of scrimmage drew comparisons to Peyton Manning's mental mastery. Rodgers also set records for touchdown passes in a season, career passer rating, and he became the fastest player in NFL history to reach 300 touchdown passes. And then, in 2023, after nearly 2 decades with the Packers, Rodgers was traded to the New York Jets. The move marked the end of an era in Green Bay and the beginning of a new chapter in his career, one that promised intrigue both on and off the field. As Rodgers' on-field achievements grew, so did his reputation as a unique, often controversial figure away from football. His estrangement from his family became public in 2016 when his brother Jordan, appearing on The Bachelorette, revealed that the two hadn't spoken in years. Rodgers declined to comment, which also fueled speculation about the cause and the contributing to a sense of mystery around the situation. In 2021, Rodgers sparked national debate when he told reporters he was immunized against COVID-19, which later revealed to be misleading. The fallout was swift. Media backlash, sponsor scrutiny, and a broader conversation about personal choice versus public responsibility. Rodgers defended his stance passionately, aligning himself with alternative health figures like Joe Rogan and expressing frustration with what he called cancel culture. Similarly, his weekly appearances on the Pat McAfee Show gave fans direct insight into his thinking. He openly spoke about mental health, spirituality, and even his use of psychedelics such as ayahuasca. In 2023, he went on a 4-day darkness retreat to contemplate his future in football, a move that was largely mocked. These decisions painted Rodgers as a man deeply introspective, but increasingly distant from the traditional NFL culture. Rodgers has also openly criticized the Green Bay Packers front office, particularly regarding his lack of input on personnel decisions. His growing disconnect with the franchise ultimately led to the high-profile trade to the New York Jets. Aaron Rodgers occupies a rare space in the modern sports world. On one hand, he is among the most gifted quarterbacks to ever play, a technician and artist capable of dissecting defenses with surgical precision. But on the other hand, he is a cultural lightning rod. Thoughtful, defiant, unfiltered, and frequently at odds with the systems around him. But what cannot be denied is that Rodgers challenges the traditional archetype of the NFL quarterback and will almost certainly be drafted into the Hall of Fame when his career is done.
If you like this content, make sure to subscribe, and if you want to watch more, click in the top left corner.